My name is Lydia Peterson. I'm age 18. I've been in the Cinder Hillbillies Club for 8 years. My project for this year are archery, llama, and swine. Our llama club is pretty cool. We go to Colorado and these places hold some of my best memories. They include a taste of wilderness survival, hard work, cooking supper on a camp stove, and bacon on a fire grate, incredible scenery, and a whole bunch of patience and perseverance. The llama seniors get to learn a lot about real life because hiking in the rain and dealing with obstinate llamas for several miles an hour takes a totally different mindset. This mindset is that we don't give up because there is no other option than to continue. We might as well suck it up and enjoy the trip with jollies too. Today I will be talking to you about these hikes, how to prepare for them, how to cook out in the middle of nowhere, how to dress for the weather, how to pack and lead llamas for several miles, and most importantly, how to enjoy yourself. These llama hikes in Colorado build character because they are a ton of hard work combined with a lot of fun. Here we have the long johns or sweatpants. They're really important as a bottom base layer, and then over that, that's for warmth. The fleece pants or polyester or whatever, preferably not cotton. It's kind of dangerous if it gets wet. It'll make you cold and won't dry. And then over that we have some lightweight hiking pants. These are zip off. I really prefer them because if it gets hot, you can zip off the bottom half and have shorts. These have a lot of pockets too, so that's great. Here we have wool socks, preferably wool, because if it gets wet, if you walk through a stream and it gets wet, or any other wet from rain or snow or whatever, it won't cause blisters or abrasions to your feet and make you uncomfortable. It'll keep you warm even if it's wet. Wool's amazing. Here we have a warm hat for nights or cold days, and a sun hat for during the middle of the day when it gets hot and the sun is scorching. And here we have hiking boots. You definitely want some sort of sturdy shoe. Tennis shoes would be okay if that's all you have, but preferably hiking boots and waterproof. And then we have camp shoes and water shoes. I try to put them together, it saves weight, and for messing around and just letting your feet rest. For personal hygiene, I have some things, and it's pretty simple and lightweight. So for the girls, I would suggest hair ties, because you definitely want your hair out of the way, and a comb to keep yourself nice. And then we have soap or shampoo, just like a mild soap, preferably biodegradable, so that if you decide to wash your hair in a stream or whatever, it won't kill the fish that you're trying to catch. So then we have washcloth. That's important too. You want to keep well, Eric calls it teen spirit. We want to keep that down. And then we have a lightweight sport towel, quick drying, and some lotion. That's important too, and some deodorant. That's really important, and toothpaste and a toothbrush. And all of that fits in this little container here. So here we have sleeping stuff, and this is a compressible pillow. It rolls up really tight, as you can see, and it fits into something about this size. I take that as a luxury because, I mean, we're hiking with llamas. You can afford to be a little bit luxurious. So next, I am going to experiment with a hammock system, and normally we use tents, which is pretty simple. We just set it up when we get to camp, and one for guys and one for girls, and we're good to go. So I'm going to experiment with the hammock thing. We'll see how it goes. So this is my hammock, and this is a ground pad. I'm probably going to put it inside the hammock to keep the air from making me cold, because air goes right through the walls of the hammock. And this is a fleece sleeping bag for extra warmth if needed, and this is my normal sleeping bag. Preferably don't get anything cotton, because if your sleeping bag gets wet, then you will be very miserable. And so this one is a polyester fill, preferably get down or polyester fills. And then this is a tarp, a rain tarp. I'll string that up between the two trees over the top of my hammock to keep off the rain. And then this thing is a mosquito net. It's like from the Korean War or something. Anyways, my dad's had it forever, and it goes over the top along with the tarp to keep you safe from mosquitoes and other bugs. The last item of clothing is probably your most important piece of clothing. It is a rain jacket and a windbreaker waterproof shell, basically. This is a soft shell. I think Eric finds his at the Army Surplus store, and it keeps off the rain really well. If you get wet, then you're going to be miserable for the rest of the trip because all your clothes will be wet, especially if it's cold. I always take a day pack with me because it carries my water and some other important items. I have a Camelback or MSR or any other brand does water bladders, and you can also do water bottles as well, but water bladders are really convenient because they're right there and you can suck on it without taking it out of your pack. I also have a knife, a pocket knife, and I use it for salami or steaks, or maybe if a lead rope or another rope gets caught or stuck, I cut it off. And then hand sanitizer, if you want. Doesn't make much difference, but I mean, you're out in the woods, you're getting dirty anyway, so, but it helps if you want to feel clean and eat. And sunscreen and bug repellent, those are pretty important too, especially the bug repellent. There's going to be a lot of mosquitoes in Colorado. And a headlamp. You probably want a headlamp more than any other flashlight because you can wear it at the same time you are working on stuff with your hands. So, also, we have baggies, one for toilet paper and one for used toilet paper. We don't leave our toilet paper in the woods. That's not a good idea. It's disgusting. Or you could go the completely natural way and do dirt or grass or plants. No joke, it works. And then we have Kleenex tissue as well. So the first thing we do when we get to camp is set it up. And we set up the kitchen area so that we have our main protection from the rain and we can walk under there and get dry if it's raining. So we use tarps to string over the top, probably 3 tarps over the top to make a big enough area to have basically a living space, and then one on the bottom to have kind of a clean area to cook on and prepare food on. And then we tie it up with all these ropes. There's a lot of ropes, but they all get used up because of the distance and the trees. So this is the shovel. It's collapsible. It's pretty nifty. Collapses into 3 pieces all in this area. And we use it for digging up rocks, like in tent spaces, or making fire pits, or digging holes for your own waste. Here is the hatchet. We use it for chopping wood, or bushwhacking, or general use for camp setup. And it's covered right now with a hot pad to keep it from cutting up our baggage and other stuff that it's with. And this is a very extreme bushwhacking tool, and you use it to saw through, well, if there's trees or sticks and limbs in the trail, then you cut those off so that the llamas can get past with their packs on, and to cut off stuff in your camp area. Up in front of me we have our cooking utensils and gear. These small bottles, Nalgene bottles, are for things like olive oil and soaps, dishwashing soap, and spices and things like that. And then we have bowls for personal use, and a mixing bowl for like pancake batter or whatever. And then we have our skillet and our utensils. These are important. tongs and a spatula, and then our personal silverware. That's pretty important too, unless you want to go woodsman and eat with your fingers. And then we have our skillet, and the handle folds out, and you fold it like that. And plates too. And here we have, if you want to cook on over the fire, then you put this up there first, and you can do brats or potatoes or anything up there. Here we have our meal bags, one for breakfast, like granola and pancake mix and other things that you might want for breakfast, and one for lunch, and which we usually do like dry salami and dried cheeses and some fruit like apples or oranges. That's pretty simple, and you don't have to pull out a bunch of cooking stuff and make a big meal while you're on the trail. So, and then the dinner bag is obviously for dinner. Just like gravy mixes and other stuff go in that one. The bags are used, well, we string them up at night to protect them from rodents mainly. Big animals like bears and lynxes and other things probably will not come close to us very much, because the llamas, anything that is different, has a different smell, they'll ward it off and keep us pretty safe. Now we have the water filter system, the water drinking system, and for cooking and general human consumption of water. And so we have our MSR water pump here, and it fits nicely onto a Nalgene bottle. And then you stick this in your water bucket that you get water from the creek, and you pump, and it filters through a system of charcoal and ceramic and gets out giardia and other stuff like that. And then you have clean water. This is our cooking setup. We have a pot, and inside, for easy storage and more space, we have our cups and some bowls for gravy or whatever, and cups for hot chocolate and tea. Those are super good after a long day on the trail or in a cold morning. So this is the camp stove. This is a wind protector. You can set it up any way the wind is coming to keep the flames from going everywhere or going out. And then this is the fuel canister. It hooks up right here, and then it's got a little switch for this. This one pumps up. This is a pump canister. And so it's pressurized, and then it goes up into the stove, and then you have your flame. And you can put your pot on top, or any other pan, and either works. You can do bacon and soups and mashed potatoes and anything. This is our coolers, and what we do for food and main meals is we pre-mix the stuff or pre-marinate the stuff at home, and then we put it in freezer bags and in the freezer flat so that we can stack them in dominoes in our coolers. This is a modified cooler. It has foam on the outside and duct tape, and it keeps it more cold for longer. And then we stack them up side by side in there. They fit better that way. And then we have, we do scrambled eggs in the mornings, and sausage, and we do fajitas and bangers and mash, which is mashed potatoes and sausages. It's really good, even if it is instant mashed potatoes, because you've been hiking all day. It's delicious. We've gotten Hugo all ready to go. He has his packs on and his rain gear and his llama blanket. Well, rain gear and llama blanket are the same thing. They protect the gear from getting wet if it rains, and they protect the llama from getting wet if it rains. And I'll take it off here, show you guys. It's basically a rubberized raincoat. And here his packs are. We've got the stabilizer and the lift straps. They make sure that the load is lifted up and well balanced, and not, well, have a high center of gravity, not a low center of gravity, so that the llama is more balanced. This scale is the pack scale. We use it to weigh the panniers and make sure that they are equally weighed so that the llama has better balance. And we attach the packs here and we hold on to it and it pulls down, and here we have weight in pounds, and the maximum poundage we do is about 60 pounds for llama happiness and general happiness. This is our llama first aid kit. We have some kaopectate for anti-diarrhea and upset stomachs, and we have a wound disinfectant for scratches or cuts. And then we have gauze dressings for major scratches or cuts or abrasions, and then the tape to wrap it on. And then we've got some fly repellent ointment, especially for around their eyes, also repels mosquitoes. And then we have charcoal caps, which are used to leach out bad chemicals if they eat plants, poisonous plants, such as lupin and milkweed. We have some more llama gear here. This is the llama halters and the long leads. We usually use these leads. They're pretty short for just hiking and walking, and when we're in the woods, they always wear the halters just in case they get away or something when we're trying to change or take the halter off, which I don't quite know why we would do that, but anyways, it's a precaution. And the long leads are used for putting them out in the pasture or at night to graze and eat. The round trip schedule. Here's an outline of what each trip generally looks like. They are anywhere from 4 to 6 days in length, including traveling time. Day 1, we leave from Arizona and travel to Colorado. We will usually have supper in some town before heading to the trail. That night we will be spent at the trailhead. Day 2, we eat breakfast and pack up our stuff and the panniers on the llamas as early as possible to get a good start on the trail. Then we hike approximately half the distance to our destination and camp for the night. Sometimes we travel 2 days before getting to our destination, and sometimes we only travel 1. So depending on how many miles away from the trailhead the destination is how long we will take to get there. And day 3, or whenever we arrive at the designated place, this is usually our relaxing day and fun couple of days. We hang around or do a side hike without the llamas, or go swimming or attempt to catch pikas. My brother Luke and I stalked around a rock slide up in Lizard Head Pass for hours. We finally caught one when it was out eating in an open area. We were tempted to try roast pika, but we let it go. That probably would have been illegal anyways. The previous year up at Emerald Lake, I went with my older brother Lane and Sean Handy. We invented a song about chipmunks roasting on an open fire. Eric and I got poured on while building a sandcastle and fishing. We also found some ancient tools tied to a tree along with a toilet box. One morning, Lane and Sean even joined the Polar Bear Club. Day 4 or 5, we pack up and hike out. We can usually do all the hiking in one day, as the llamas know they are going back to the trailer and march double speed. We are all required by Eric's law to have awkward and frosty cold showers that night as an attempt to quench some of the accumulated teen spirit. In other words, reduce sweaty, dirty teenager smell. We spend the night at the trailer again. The last day, we pack all the saddles, llamas, and the gear back into the trailer, and we head into a town early enough to eat breakfast somewhere local. It feels pretty strange to be sitting in a nice clean place with nice clean folks and proper etiquette. We may have spent only 5 days in the middle of nowhere, but they are completely different worlds. I think that hard work combined with tons of fun is probably the best way to build memories and character. Today I talked about how to pack personal items and clothing for a wilderness adventure, cooking in the woods and gear for first aid, llamas, cooking, clothing, personal hygiene, and day pack that I hope you senior people, Llama people, go on your trips with big expectations. You won't be disappointed because each trip is its own unique adventure. These hikes are tough and challenging, but they're a blast. And at the end, these hikes will most likely be in some of your very best memories.